You are dying, not from disease, not from age. You are dying from distraction. Right now, at this very moment, there is a version of you that could change your family's future, shift the trajectory of your destiny, and leave a mark on this earth that echoes for generations. But that version of you, it's suffocating. Buried under notifications, drowned in noise, scattered across 1,000 unfinished dreams. And the saddest part? You've gotten so comfortable with the chaos that you call it life. Let me tell you something that will either wake you up or offend you. Most people are not living, they're just not dead yet. They wake up, they scroll, they react, they respond. They chase every shiny object that catches their eye. They start 100 things and finish none. They call themselves busy, but they're just distracted. And distraction, my friend, is the slow killer of destiny. You want to know why you haven't broken through yet? It's not because you lack talent. It's not because you don't have opportunity. It's because you lack focus. You're trying to be everywhere, so you're powerful nowhere. You're trying to do everything, so you master nothing. And the world doesn't reward the scattered. The world bows to the focused. Listen carefully. There is a principle woven into the fabric of creation itself. You become what you focus on, not what you wish for, not what you hope for, what you focus on. Show me your focus, and I'll show you your future. Show me what consumes your attention, and I'll tell you where you're headed. Your focus is a prophecy. It's telling the story of your life before you even live it. But here's the problem. We live in a generation that has weaponized distraction. Your phone buzzes, your screen glows, your feed refreshes. And with every ping, every notification, every scroll, your power leaks out. The enemy of your greatness doesn't come dressed like a villain. It comes dressed like entertainment, like convenience, like connection. It whispers just 5 more minutes. And 5 minutes becomes 5 hours. 5 hours becomes 5 years. And one day you wake up and realize you gave your entire life to things that didn't matter. You know what separates a lion from a dog? A lion doesn't chase every animal it sees. It watches, it waits, it locks in on one target. And when it moves with everything it has. That's focus. That's power. But a dog chases everything. The squirrel, the car, the neighbor. It runs around all day exhausted and catches nothing. And sadly, most people live like dogs, chasing trends, chasing approval, chasing distractions. And they wonder why they're tired but not successful. Here's the brutal truth. Average people chase opportunities. Focused people create them. Average people want more options. Focused people eliminate options. Average people say yes to everything. Focused people have the courage to say no to almost everything because they understand something that the distracted will never understand. Addition doesn't create greatness. Subtraction does. You don't need more. You need less. Less noise, less opinions, less activities that feel important but lead nowhere. You don't need another seminar, another course, another motivational video to get you hyped for 3 days before you fall back into the same patterns. You need to shut the door on everything that's not connected to your assignment. And yes, you have an assignment. You didn't just show up on this planet by accident. You're not random. You're not ordinary. But until you focus, you'll live like you are. There are gifts inside you that have been screaming to come out. Dreams that have been begging for your attention. A purpose that has been knocking on the door of your soul. But you've been too distracted to hear it, too busy scrolling to see it, too scattered to pursue it, and time is not waiting for you to get your act together. You want to know what haunts the graveyard? Unfinished books, unstarted businesses, unuttered words, unfulfilled potential. The richest place on earth is not the diamond mine or the oil field. It's the cemetery. Because there lie the people who died with their dreams still inside them. And why? Not because they weren't capable. Because they weren't focused. Stop lying to yourself. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know the thing you keep putting off. The project you keep saying you'll start Monday. The vision you keep saying you'll chase next year. You're not waiting for the right time. You're waiting for the distracted version of you to finally get out of the way so the focused version can rise. But let me tell you something powerful. The moment you decide to focus, truly focus, not with hype, but with discipline, not with emotion, but with elimination, not with wishes, but with work, everything changes. Doors you didn't knock on will open. People you didn't call will show up. Resources you didn't see will appear. Because the universe responds to focus the way soil responds to seed. It produces. This is not a game. This is not a motivational moment that fades when the music stops. This is a wake-up call. Your life is speaking to you. Your gifts are crying out. Your purpose is pulling on you. And the only question that matters now is this. Will you finally stop chasing everything and lock in on the one thing you were born to do? The world doesn't need another distracted person with potential. It needs you. Focused, locked in, unstoppable. And that version of you, it's not coming someday. It starts the moment you silence the noise and say, enough. Today I focus. Today I rise. Today I become who I was always meant to be. Now let me tell you something that will shift everything if you truly hear it. You were not created to survive. You were created to dominate. Not in arrogance, not in cruelty, but in the purest sense of the word, to exercise authority over your assigned territory, to rule over the chaos, to bring order where there is confusion, to manifest excellence where there is mediocrity. But here's what you must understand. Dominion without focus is just noise. Power without direction is just wasted energy. You can have all the talent in the world, all the gifts, all the potential, but if you're scattered, you're powerless. Listen to me carefully. When a manufacturer creates a product, that manufacturer knows exactly what that product was designed to do. The creator knows the capacity. The creator knows the purpose. The creator knows the limits and the possibilities. And you are not an accident. You are not a cosmic mistake. You are not random. You were manufactured with precision. You were designed with intention. And everything you need to fulfill your purpose was placed inside you before you took your first breath. But here's where most people lose their way. They spend their entire lives asking other people what they should do with their lives. They look to their friends for validation. They look to society for permission. They look to their circumstances for confirmation. And they completely ignore the instruction manual that came with their design. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You need focus to discover what greatness looks like for you. Your life is not a suggestion. It's an assignment. You were not placed on this earth to wander aimlessly, hoping something works out. You were placed here with a mission, with a mandate, with a message that only you can deliver. And the tragedy, the absolute tragedy, is that millions of people die without ever discovering what that assignment was. Not because it was hidden, but because they were too distracted to find it. Let me ask you a question that might sting a little. What if everything you've been chasing was never meant for you? What if all those doors that closed weren't rejections, but redirections? What if all those failures weren't punishments, but preparations? What if the reason you feel unfulfilled is not because you're not doing enough, but because you're doing too many things that were never part of your design? Here's a truth that will set you free if you let it. The enemy of your destiny is not opposition, it's distraction. It's not the people who say no to you. It's the things that say yes when they should have said no. It's not the closed doors. It's the open doors that lead to rooms you were never meant to enter. And unfocused people, they walk through every open door thinking opportunity, when really it's just another detour from their purpose. You know what happens when you live unfocused? You live powerless. You have all this potential, all this ability, all this promise, but it never materializes into anything significant. You start strong, but finish weak. You make declarations, but don't deliver. You have vision on Sunday and give up by Wednesday. Why? Because focus is the bridge between potential and performance. Without focus, you're just full of good intentions that lead nowhere. Let me paint you a picture. Inside every seed is a tree, not a suggestion of a tree, not the potential for a tree, fully formed, fully designed, waiting. That seed doesn't need to become something it's not. It needs to focus on becoming what it already is. It doesn't look at the acorn next to it and say, maybe I should be an oak tree. It doesn't see the rose bush and think, maybe I should grow flowers. It knows what it is. And it focuses every ounce of its energy on becoming that one thing. But you're trying to be an oak tree on Monday, a rose bush on Tuesday, and a palm tree by Friday, and you wonder why nothing grows. You wonder why your life feels like a collection of half-finished projects and abandoned dreams. It's because you never committed to your own design. You never said, this is who I am, this is what I was built for, and I will eliminate everything that doesn't serve that truth. Here's where it gets really good. Think about an eagle. An eagle doesn't need permission to fly. It doesn't need a seminar on soaring. It doesn't need motivation to be great. It was designed to fly. It was built for altitude. And the moment it focuses on what it was created to do, the moment it spreads those wings and locks into its purpose, gravity loses. The storm becomes an opportunity. The wind becomes a tool. That's what happens when you align with your design and focus with everything you have. But most people live like chickens trying to soar. They scratch in the dirt. They settle for seeds on the ground. They look up and see eagles flying and think that must be nice for them, never realizing they were built to fly too. They just never focused long enough to remember who they were. Now here's the part where I get a little sarcastic with you, because some of you need to hear this. Stop asking for what you already possess. Stop praying for what's already inside you. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission to be great when you were designed for greatness before you were born. You don't need another degree to start. You don't need another connection to move. You don't need another sign to begin. You need to focus on what's already in your hand and stop crying about what's not. You know what mediocrity is? It's not a lack of ability, it's a lack of focus dressed up as circumstances. It's potential that never became performance because you convinced yourself that your situation was stronger than your design. You told yourself, if I had their resources, I'd succeed. If I had their connections, I'd break through. If I had their background, I'd be unstoppable. No. If you had their focus, you'd be dangerous. Here's the truth nobody wants to tell you because it's uncomfortable. Your life is exactly where your focus has been, not where you wish it was, not where you hope it will be, where your focus has been. If your focus has been on excuses, your life is full of limitations. If your focus has been on other people's success, your life is full of comparison. If your focus has been on comfort, your life is full of mediocrity. But if your focus has been on your assignment, on your design, on becoming who you were created to be, your life is full of breakthrough. Let me tell you what happens when you finally align with your purpose and focus with intention. Everything shifts. Your energy changes. Your conversations change. Your circle changes. The things that used to excite you don't move you anymore. The people who used to influence you don't have access anymore. The distractions that used to derail you don't even register anymore. Because when you're locked into your design, anything that doesn't fit gets rejected automatically. You become selective. You become protective. You become intentional. Not because you're arrogant, but because you finally understand that your focus is sacred, your time is sacred, your energy is sacred, and you refuse to waste any of it on things that don't serve your assignment. And here's what the distracted will never understand. Saying no to good things is how you say yes to great things. You don't need more opportunities. You need the courage to reject opportunities that aren't aligned with your design. Because the enemy of great is not bad. The enemy of great is good. It's the good opportunities, the good relationships, the good activities that slowly drain your focus until you have nothing left for the great thing you were designed to do. So let me speak directly to your spirit right now. You were not built to blend in. You were not created to be average. You were not designed to live small, think small, dream small. You were manufactured for dominion, for impact, for significance. And everything you need to walk in that reality is already inside you. It's not coming. It's not on the way. It's here, right now, waiting for you to stop being distracted and start being focused. The question is not whether you have what it takes. The question is whether you'll focus long enough to release it. Will you finally eliminate the noise? Will you finally silence the voices? Will you finally choose your assignment over your comfort? Because when you do, when you truly do, you won't just succeed. You'll dominate. You'll become unstoppable. Not because you're perfect, but because you're focused. And a focused life is a powerful life. Always has been, always will be. Now we need to talk about the part that separates the dreamers from the doers. The part that separates those who talk about greatness from those who live it. And that part is discipline. Because focus is not just a feeling. It's not just a moment of inspiration that fades when the music stops. Focus is a discipline. It's a daily decision. It's a ruthless commitment to eliminate everything that doesn't serve your purpose. And let me tell you something that's going to challenge everything you think you know about success. Greatness is not about what you add to your life. It's about what you're willing to remove. You see, everybody wants to add more skills, add more connections, add more activities, add more. But nobody wants to subtract. Nobody wants to remove. Nobody wants to cut. Nobody wants to eliminate. And that's why most people stay stuck. They're so busy adding weight to their life that they can't move. They're carrying so much that wasn't meant for them that they can't run toward what was. Let me give you a principle that will transform your life if you apply it. The subtraction principle. Listen carefully. Your power is not in how much you can do. Your power is in how much you can refuse to do. It's not about saying yes to everything. It's about having the wisdom and the courage to say no to almost everything. Because every yes to something that doesn't matter is a no to something that does. Think about it. When you say yes to that pointless meeting, you're saying no to your creative time. When you say yes to that toxic relationship, you're saying no to your peace. When you say yes to that distraction dressed up as opportunity, you're saying no to your destiny. And the reason most people never reach their potential is not because they don't work hard. It's because they work hard on too many things that don't matter. You know what's more powerful than yes? No. No is the most powerful word in the vocabulary of the focused. No protects your energy. No guards your time. No preserves your purpose. And until you learn to say no without guilt, without explanation, without apology, you will never have the space to say yes to your greatness. But here's what happens when you live unfocused. You make promises you can't keep. You start projects you don't finish. You commit to things that drain you. And then you wonder why you're exhausted but not successful. You wonder why you're busy but not productive. You wonder why you're moving but not progressing. It's because motion without focus is just commotion. It's activity without accomplishment. It's noise without result. Let me tell you the cost of unfocused living. It costs you your credibility because you keep breaking promises to yourself and others. It costs you your confidence because nothing you start ever gets finished. It costs you your clarity because you're pulled in so many directions you forget who you even are. It costs you your peace because you're always reacting, never creating. And ultimately, it costs you your destiny because you spend your entire life preparing to focus instead of actually focusing. Here's a truth that's going to sting, but it needs to be said. Your distractions have names, they have phone numbers, they have faces. Stop pretending you don't know what's stealing your focus. You know exactly what it is. You know exactly who it is. That person who always needs something but never adds anything. That habit that feels good in the moment but leaves you empty later. That activity that keeps you comfortable but kills your progress. You know what it is. The question is, do you have the courage to cut it off? Because focus requires sacrifice, real focus. Not the kind you talk about after watching a motivational video. The kind that shows up when nobody's watching. The kind that says no when everyone else says yes. The kind that walks away from what's familiar to walk toward what's possible. That kind of focus costs something. And most people aren't willing to pay the price. Let me show you something powerful. You know the difference between the sun's rays and a laser beam? The sun's rays are scattered. They spread everywhere. They touch everything. They're warm. They're bright. But they can't cut through steel. A laser beam, it's the exact same light. But it's focused, it's concentrated, it's directed. And because of that focus, it can cut through metal, it can perform surgery, it can change matter, same light, different power. Why? Focus. That's you. You have all this light inside you, all this potential, all this energy, but it's scattered. You're touching everything but cutting through nothing. You're spreading yourself so thin that you have no depth, no impact, no penetration. But the moment you take that same energy and focus it, the moment you stop spreading yourself across 1,000 things and pour yourself into one thing, you become unstoppable. You don't just warm the room, you change the atmosphere. Here's what the focused understand that the distracted never will. One thing done with passion beats 10 things done with permission. One project completed with excellence beats 100 projects started with excitement. One relationship nurtured with intention beats 1,000 connections collected with ambition. Quality always beats quantity. Depth always beats breadth. Focus always beats frenzy. But you need to hear this. Focus creates momentum, and momentum creates miracles. When you focus on one thing long enough, consistently enough, passionately enough, something shifts. Doors start opening. Opportunities start appearing. Resources start flowing. People start noticing. Not because you got lucky, not because you knew somebody, but because focused energy creates a gravitational pull. It attracts what it needs. It draws in what it's aligned with. Unfocused people are always chasing. Focused people are always attracting. Unfocused people are always exhausted. Focused people are always energized. Unfocused people are always frustrated. Focused people are always fulfilling their purpose. It's not about working harder, it's about working with more focus. Now let me get really practical with you because some of you need to stop philosophizing and start implementing. Your distractions are not random. They follow patterns. They have entry points. They have access codes. And most of them come through your phone, your mouth, and your mind. Your phone keeps you scrolling when you should be creating. Your mouth keeps you talking when you should be doing. Your mind keeps you worrying when you should be working. Close those entry points. Guard those gates. Protect those portals. You want to know how serious you are about your focus? Look at your screen time. Look at your calendar. Look at your bank account. Those three things will tell you everything you need to know about what you're really focused on. Not what you say you're focused on. What you're actually focused on, because your life always reveals your focus. Always. And here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to admit. You have time for what you focus on. Stop saying you don't have time. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else who's winning. You're just using those hours differently. You're spending them instead of investing them. You're wasting them instead of weaponizing them. You have time, you just don't have focus. Let me say this again because it's critical. Guard your focus like you guard your life because it is your life. Your focus today is your future tomorrow. Your focus this year is your destiny next decade. You cannot outwork an unfocused life. You cannot out-hustle a distracted mind. You cannot outperform scattered energy. The only way to win is to focus, to eliminate, to subtract, to say no to everything that doesn't serve the vision. And when you do that, when you truly commit to that level of focus, you become dangerous. Not dangerous to other people. Dangerous to mediocrity. Dangerous to excuses. Dangerous to limitations. You become the kind of person who doesn't just set goals but shatters them. Who doesn't just make plans but manifests them. Who doesn't just dream about impact but creates it. This is not theory. This is not hype. This is the discipline of dominance. This is how ordinary people become extraordinary. This is how average lives become legendary. Not through talent alone. Not through luck alone. But through the relentless, ruthless, revolutionary decision to focus. To cut off what doesn't serve. To guard what does. To protect your energy like it's sacred because it is. So right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can keep living scattered, keep chasing everything, keep spreading yourself thin, keep wondering why nothing sticks. Or you can decide, truly decide, that from this moment forward, your focus is non-negotiable, that your time is precious, that your energy is limited, that your purpose is urgent, and that you will no longer waste any of it on anything that doesn't move you closer to who you were created to be. Guard your focus. Protect your purpose. Eliminate your distractions. Because when you do, you don't just become successful, you become unstoppable. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when the conditions are perfect or when you feel ready or when all your ducks are in a row. Right now, this moment, this is where everything changes. Because you've heard the truth. You've seen the pattern. You've recognized the cost of distraction and the power of focus. And now you stand at a crossroads. One path leads back to the familiar, the scattered life, the unfulfilled potential, the comfortable mediocrity. The other path leads forward into something you've never experienced but always knew was possible. The focused you, the unstoppable you, the version of you that the world has been waiting for. Let me tell you what happens when you finally make the shift. When you stop playing games with your destiny and start getting serious about your focus, everything changes. And I mean everything. The fog lifts, the confusion clears, the noise fades, and for the first time in maybe years, you see clearly. You see what matters. You see what doesn't. You see who belongs in your life and who's just taking up space. You see which opportunities are aligned with your purpose and which ones are just shiny distractions dressed up as progress. When you lock in, when you truly lock in, doors that were closed start opening. Not because you knocked harder, but because focused energy creates opportunity. It doesn't beg for it, it creates it. Resources you didn't know existed start appearing, not because you searched harder, but because focus attracts provision. People you never met start showing up at the right time with the right word, the right connection, the right opportunity. Not by coincidence, but because when you're walking in your purpose with focus, the universe conspires to support you. You want to know what you become when you refuse to be pulled in every direction? You become magnetic. You become powerful. You become clear. People feel it when they're around you. They sense it in your presence. There's no more scattered energy, no more confused conversation, no more half-hearted commitments. You know who you are, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going. And that certainty, that focused certainty is attractive, it's compelling, it's unstoppable. But let me be honest with you, the shift is not easy. When you start cutting off distractions, some people will be offended. When you start saying no to things that don't serve your purpose, some folks will call you selfish. When you start protecting your time and guarding your energy, some will accuse you of changing, and you know what? They're right. You are changing. You're becoming who you were always meant to be. And not everyone can come with you on that journey. Here's what you need to understand. Your future is calling, but focus is the phone. Your destiny is speaking, but discipline is the language. Your purpose is pulling on you, but sacrifice is the price. And you can't answer that call with your hands full of things that don't matter. You can't step into your greatness while you're still holding on to what's keeping you small. So you have to let go. Let go of the need to be everything to everyone. Let go of the pressure to say yes when your spirit is screaming no. Let go of the relationships that drain you. Let go of the habits that delay you. Let go of the excuses that define you. Let go of the fear that confines you, because you cannot grab your future with your hands full of your past. Think about what happens when a rocket launches into space. Do you know what it does? It sheds weight. Those massive booster rockets that helped it get off the ground, it drops them. Not because they're bad, but because they've served their purpose and now they're just extra weight. And if the rocket tried to carry them into orbit, it would never make it. It would burn all its fuel trying to lift what it was never meant to carry. That's you right now. You're trying to launch into your destiny while carrying things that were only meant for the ground, relationships that served a season but not your future, activities that felt important but lead nowhere, mindsets that kept you safe but keep you stuck. And until you drop that weight, until you focus on shedding what no longer serves, you'll never reach the altitude you were designed for. Let me ask you a question that matters. What will they say you focused on? When your life is over and people tell your story, what will be the theme? Will they say you focused on comfort, on opinions, on safety, on fitting in? Or will they say you focused on purpose, on impact, on becoming everything you were created to be? Because your legacy is not what you leave behind. Your legacy is what you focus on while you're here. And time is not slowing down. Every day you wait is a day you can't get back. Every week you procrastinate is a week stolen from your purpose. Every month you stay distracted is a month your gifts stay buried. The world doesn't need your potential, it needs your performance. It doesn't need your intentions, it needs your impact. And impact only comes from focus. Stop preparing to focus. Stop getting ready to get ready. Stop waiting for permission, for perfection, for the right moment. Start now, today, this hour, this minute. Lock in on the one thing you know you're supposed to be doing. The project you've been avoiding, the conversation you've been postponing, the decision you've been delaying, the dream you've been denying. Do it now. Not because you feel ready, but because your purpose is more important than your fear. Here's what I know about you, even though we've never met. You were never average. You just got distracted. You were never ordinary. You just got overwhelmed. You were never powerless. You just got pulled in too many directions, but today, right now, everything changes. Because you're not that person anymore. You're not the scattered version. You're not the confused version. You're not the distracted version. You're the focused version, the locked-in version, the unstoppable version. And that version of you, it doesn't make excuses. It makes moves. It doesn't wait for opportunities. It creates them. It doesn't hope for change. It becomes the change. It doesn't talk about focus. It lives focus. Every single day, every single hour, with every single decision. So let me speak to your spirit one last time. You have everything you need. The gifts are there. The purpose is clear. The assignment is urgent. The only thing standing between you and your breakthrough is your willingness to focus, to eliminate, to sacrifice, to choose your destiny over your comfort. And I'm telling you, when you make that choice, when you truly make that choice, nothing can stop you. Not your past, not your mistakes, not your limitations, not your circumstances, not your critics, not your doubters, nothing. Because focused people are unstoppable people, always have been, always will be. The world is waiting, your family is waiting, your future is waiting, but they're not waiting for the distracted you, they're waiting for the focused you, the clear you, the committed you, the unstoppable you. And that version, it's not coming someday. It starts today. It starts now. It starts the moment you close the door on everything that doesn't serve your purpose and open the door to everything you were created to be. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your call to rise. Stop surviving and start dominating. Stop existing and start living. Stop being scattered and start being focused. Because when you do, when you finally do, you won't just change your life. You'll change your legacy. You'll change your lineage. You'll change everyone who comes after you. Focus so hard you become unstoppable. Not tomorrow, today, not later, now. Your destiny is not waiting. Your purpose is not pausing. Your calling is not compromising. And neither should you. Lock in, rise up, become who you were always meant to be. The world is ready for you. The question is, are you ready for you? So here we stand, you and the truth. No more excuses between you, no more confusion hiding you, no more distractions protecting you from your own greatness. You know what you need to do. You've always known. The only difference is now you can't pretend you don't. Your life will never be the same after this moment. Because truth changes everything. And the truth is simple. You were built for more. You were designed for dominance. You were created for impact. But none of that matters if you stay scattered. None of that manifests if you stay distracted. None of that becomes reality if you refuse to focus. So make the decision right now, not later. Not after you think about it, now. Decide that from this moment forward, your focus is sacred, your time is protected, your energy is guarded, your purpose is non-negotiable. Decide that you will no longer waste another day, another hour, another minute on things that don't move you toward your destiny. Cut off what needs to be cut off. Say no to what needs to be refused. Walk away from what needs to be left behind. And pour everything into becoming who you were created to be. Because that's when the miracles happen. That's when the breakthroughs come. That's when you become unstoppable. The scattered version of you dies today. The distracted version of you ends today. And the focused version, the powerful version, the purposeful version, the unstoppable version rises today. This is not hype. This is not motivation. This is activation. This is your moment. This is your time. Now go. Focus so hard that nothing can stop you. Focus so deeply that everything aligns. Focus so completely that your destiny has no choice but to bow to your discipline. You were born for this. Now live like it. The world is waiting. Your greatness is calling. And focus is the answer. Always has been, always will be.